Sometimes you watch the trailer for a title and you feel confident that you got the general idea of how the game will be. Back at Gamescom earlier this year, we got the reveal trailer for Linked Banner of the Spark. It looked like a hack and slash roguelike with a town building element on the side. Okay, that's pretty cool and worth us giving it a go. Gabe and I got to play the upcoming early access build of Linked and went in expecting that premise to hold true. And in some ways it did, and in other ways it didn't. Drop the roguelike for the most part for actual campaign missions with procedural generation and take the town building idea but make it Animal Crossing and you're starting to get a better idea. Yes, I said Animal Crossing, which was a shock to us, so let me get into everything we thought and learned about Linked from our time playing 3 hours of the game. First and foremost, I want to give props to Linked because it is an extremely easy game to play with your friends. It is clear from the start that this is a co-op game above all else, and of course you know that we love that. Linked has co-op with up to 3 to 6 players. 6 players can hang out in a town together at once, but only 3 can go on a mission together, and it's only online co-op. There is shared progression from multiple angles, including your character's combat abilities, weapon upgrades, campaign progress, and even the town building element has some shared parts to it. As far as we could tell, the only thing that you don't have shared progression on is building houses and decor from the host town to the non-host towns, but that makes a lot of sense when you start to look at that Animal Crossing comparison. Otherwise, we were really impressed with the level of shared progression that they nailed here, even going so far as allowing players to skip a mission that they beat on their own campaign if they played it ahead of time with a friend who was farther along. It was also super easy to join each other's towns. You can make your town available for public access or private, and can just give your code to your friends for them to join. There's even a button that allows a friend to hop back into your game if they need to leave quickly, do something back at their town, and then return to yours. That's pretty cool. That's a feature we've never seen before, but makes a lot of sense. So yeah, the ease of play at this stage was everything we could have wanted. Now let me explain what you're going to be doing in Linked. The story of Linked Banner of the Spark is straightforward. You're in the distant future when humanity is holding on by a thread. AI has largely taken over, and while at first they sought to save humanity, now some have turned against it. You wake up in an evil AI jail cell to find Buddy, one of the good AIs, here to save you. You've then got a 20-minute tutorial where you learn about combat and find your way to freedom. Now that you're back at Buddy's town, you can start to go on missions to save more of the friendly AI bots that will help you build up your town into a fully fledged community, and this is when you've now unlocked co-op. Before I keep going into the town building side though, let me hop into the combat. Campaign missions are short, 10-ish minutes that are procedurally generated levels where you make your way through like quote-unquote rooms of enemies while upgrading your weapon of choice within that little run. You start each mission in a prep area where you can choose a weapon, and then you start its upgrade path for that run with the smithy, and you'll see that smithy in every single room so you can continue to upgrade it again within that run. There is a good variety of weapons to choose from. You've got your basic swords and hammers, but also an arms-like boxing glove, a guitar that you can create AoE damage with, and even a hoverboard that you can ride mid-fight. Weapons all have a basic combo, a charge combo, and a special move. You'll also find elemental cores from other weapons during runs you can pick up to add even more to the weapon, like lightning damage or poison damage. Your weapon isn't the only part of combat either. Every character has a grapple hook arm that you can use to throw environmental objects like laws or saws or even smaller enemies, and you can use it to zip into the larger targets to close the gap. And finally, every character has what I think is called a spark ability, I can't quite remember the exact name for it, which is on a slow recharge and can provide things like a shield or a heal to you and your allies. It's kind of like your co-op ability. The combat scenarios will throw a couple of different enemy types at you, like smaller drones that are going to explode if you get too close, or more like nimble mid-sized robots that you want to stay away from because they can take down your health real quick. Plus you've got larger robots that you have to wait for their balance to come off and use your grapple arm to kind of pull them down. The arenas that you're fighting in have tons of traps that you can either fall for or use to your advantage, plus all that environmental stuff that I said earlier that you could throw at people, which was pretty cool. Do all this for a set number of rooms and survive, and you'll complete the mission. After a mission is over, you'll earn several different currencies to use back at your town, which brings me to breaking down the town building side of the game, easily the biggest surprise of our experience, as I've already mentioned. So at first, as you complete missions, you start to rescue your basic town essentials, a smithy who upgrades your weapons, another robot to upgrade your grapple arm, a bot that teaches you how to build decor around your town. You can place their houses, build structures, mine for important materials, do side quests for the bots. All of this kind of made sense to us. And then we rescued our first non-vendor villagers and we were like, wait a second, this feels like Animal Crossing. These are villagers that will walk around the town and you can talk to, you can give them gifts and complete little quests for them to increase their friendship. They look unique, they have different personalities, they say mean things, they say nice things. Your quests for these little guys include things like catching fish or bugs, or just like throwing them in the river if they ask for it. Again, very Animal Crossing, and I kinda love it. Which helps lead me into our actual impressions now that I've gone into detail to explain the gameplay loop and feel of Lynked. Lynked really started to click from the combat side when we got to try out all the weapons. At first you're just using a generic sword, and while it certainly didn't feel bad to play, I'd say it was just getting the job done in terms of hack and slash combat. But then we were given the full gambit to experiment with, and we saw that the team actually cooked up some awesome variety. I already talked about some of the cooler types, but I want to also add that they feel great to play too. The combat suite of your weapon, plus your grapple arm, plus your co-op ability comes together really well, and I feel confident saying the combat side of the game is a good time. We had our usual moments of calling out enemy types, using our co-op abilities, reviving each other during a tough moment. We played through the entire first chapter in our 3 hours, so it was mostly pretty easy stuff, but I can see even early on that there's excellent variety in enemy design that'll keep us on our toes. Plus we like the roguelite elements of choosing mods and upgrades for your weapon during a run. Again, it's early on and we only had unlocked a handful of mods, but it's easy to see how it'll help missions stay fresh, even if you replay them for more experience and currency. So combat side of the game is good, but admittedly there are a lot of great hack and slash and roguelike co-op games out there to try. So it comes down to the town building side to help separate Lynked Banner from the Spark from the competition, and even early on into our experience, I think it could do exactly that. Doing quests for villagers and merchants, fishing and catching bugs, putting decor down together all works here in co-op in the same way it does in Animal Crossing, but a little bit easier to do and with a little bit more purpose. It feels like not only is this now a cozy game you can chill out with your friends, but it gets that synergy where all the cozy parts help make the other side of the game more fun. The balance the devs have struck between the two halves could have been uneven, but I don't think it is in practice. This is a title that offers the fun kinetic combat that'll challenge your friends as you get to the higher difficulties, or the laid-back hanging out gameplay where you can just talk and work on some mindless chores. And I say mindless in a very positive way. On top of that, we know that in some capacity the bots will even join you and your friends on missions and help you with combat, which sounds sick. So yeah, Animal Crossing meets Hades is a weird shorthand that sets Lynked up against the best in the genre, and while it'd be crazy to say it reached both those heights on either side, I can see how it is going to give both experiences in one, and that's very cool. Okay, so to finish up, we went into Lynked a little bit skeptical and excited because there was a strong trailer, but it was just kind of hard to know if the town building part would work and if the combat would be able to carry its side of the bargain. And we left after 3 hours both impressed and wanting to play more. But with any early access title, the real question is, do you hop in now or do you hop in later? For now, the title will include the first 4 chapters of 9 promised at full launch. Obviously it's going to vary from one player to the next, but I think that's like a good 15 to 20 hours plus at launch, with plenty more to come later. I think if this looks interesting to you, I'd at least try the demo, but also consider giving the early access a shot. It was hard to find a lot of negative during our time with it. Maybe the visuals fall a little bit flat in some places, and maybe the character's run speed was a little bit slow at first, but those just feel like nitpicks. If you've always wanted a cozy game that also includes action and does it all with a robust shared progression system for co-op, Lynked seems to be it. But this is just an impressions video. We've spent 3 hours with the title, it's just that our impressions after 3 hours are pretty dang good. Okay guys, as always, thanks for watching, and if we helped you find a new game that you want to try or you're going to wishlist, consider liking the video or subscribing for more. We actually got to interview the co-founders of FuzzyBot to discuss the game, and that'll be going live tomorrow. Such a fun and cool opportunity with both Max and Tatiana. They were great to talk to. If you want to watch that and more, we'd love to have you, but if not, we understand. Either way, we'll catch you next time on another episode of the Co-op Bros. You need to talk to him before you kill him. No, God, no. I'm trying to talk to him. No, I'm literally, I have a dialogue with nobody right now. I'm talking to nobody.
Do you see him?
No, he's gone. I'm talking to him, but he's gone.
Wait, I think I fucked it up, dude. Wait, what, are you just stuck in the dialogue then?
I'm still talking to him. It's working.
Oh, okay. Look, you gotta see where he landed.
Oh my gosh, dude.